we have things that we're worried about, right? But then the question is, well, how much of that is already reflected in the real estate market, right? So for example, back in March, consumer confidence hit literally all-time lows, which was crazy. Consumer and business confidence. And I was flagging at the time that the confidence readings were below what we saw in like March and April of 2020. So literally, like, the world's locked down from this pandemic. For all we know, half of us are going to die. We were more optimistic a couple months ago than we were in 2020. Or sorry, less optimistic. And we were less optimistic than we were in the financial crisis, when we thought literally the financial system might melt down. It was an enormous overreaction. Like, yeah, we got tariffs. We got an issue with trade tensions with our largest trading partner. For sure, it's a concern. But should people be like more concerned than they were in 2020, 2009? To me, that just felt like an enormous overreaction. So I made the mistake of posting on Twitter or X, saying in March, like, I think this is the lows, right? This is going to be the low point for home sales this cycle, because you can just feel how much pessimism was baked in. And man, I got a lot of hate for posting that. Like, it was crazy. And so, you know, from there, if you fast forward to now, we've seen home sales, if you adjust for seasonality, we've seen home sales in places like Ontario up about 25% off those lows. And naturally, it's more like 12 or 15%.
And we can confirm that just in our brokerage would be a small microcosm of the greater data points, but we can confirm that we're seeing the same things. That was about our lows as well, coming out of the winter into the spring. That was about our low. Yes.
Yeah. And so my perspective is, like, I don't think we're returning to like a rip-roaring market that we saw in 2020, 2021. But it's also pretty clear to me that things have to go spectacularly badly for sales to get back to where they were in March. So for example, you know, everyone says, well, what if Canada goes into a recession? And I agree, a recession in Canada is a very real risk. But my point would be, we were already at deep recessionary levels for home sales, right? Like, if you adjust on a per capita basis, home sales were lower than they were in 2020, lower than they were in 2009. They were basically at early 1990s levels, which was a really nasty recession, as you guys know. So my point would be, we've already kind of front run the recession in terms of housing demand. So if you get a recession, like, I could see a scenario where in a recession, rates come down a little bit, home sales, they just kind of grind a little bit from here, maybe even go up a little bit even in a recession. So my point was just that I think from that perspective, the worst is probably behind us. And then I think you can also make an argument, and I know you want to get to this, but I think that, you know, the issues in the condo market are well understood, and I'm not going to downplay those. The condo market's going to have issues for a few years. I think things are very different when you talk single family in the big cities, because there we can see that the supply response is really alarming.